No, how are you? Uh, am I audible? Hari, Irfan.
Yeah, it's audible.
Yes, Sundar.
So let me introduce myself actually. So I am Venkat. I have 13 years of IT experience in SAP BODs and information driven technology. So I started my career with an SAP Labs as a vendor associate. So after that, I have changed different companies, and currently I'm working in projects where I'm dealing with an SAP BODs and SAP HANA. So that is all about myself. I'm into this online learning for the past 8 years. So that I'm doing this parallelly apart from my professional life. So that is all about myself. Hari and Irfan, can you please introduce yourself and just let me know your expectation from the course?
Hi, Venkat. Myself, is Hari. I have almost 6 years of experience in IT. I'm currently working as a creative consultant. Just I want to know that what is this very very
Hari, your voice is very thin.
working as a creative consultant. Just I want to know that what is this very business and how it is integrated with this type of course. How it will be used.
Yeah. What is the technology that you have an experience? BW and HANA. Is it correct? So you already have an experience in BW and HANA. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Irfan, can you please introduce yourself so that we will start very quickly? Irfan, you there?
Sorry, I was on mute. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. My background is in SAP ABAP PI, almost 10 years of experience working as a technical consultant. The expectation from the training is, I think the migration of HANA requires heavily BODS, technology uses BODS heavily. So that is where I thought I'll get a little bit exposure to BODS.
Okay, great. So where are you located? You are in India or?
I'm in US, Chicago.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah. So I think so. Hari and Irfan are, you both guys are having a real-time experience in respect to technologies. So I didn't want to go to, what is the data warehousing? So what is the purpose of data warehousing? And so what are the prerequisites to understand the data warehousing? So I'm not going to start with that much of a detail level. So I will directly jump on to the BODS. What is the BODS? What exactly are we going to learn as part of the BODS? So we will try to touch on those topics. Is this fine, guys?
Yes, Venkat.
Okay, great. So I hope you are able to see my screen. Yeah.
Yes.
So we are here to discuss regarding the BODS 4.2 version. The latest version would be BODS 4.2 SP9 is the latest version of BODS. So we will try to understand BODS is a typical ETL tool. I mean, what you have heard in the market like Informatica. It's like a data stage. It's like a BW. Okay. So it's not very different from other ETL tools in the market. It is definitely an ETL tool where it will perform an extraction, transformation, and loading. So from any variety of sources, and it can load the data into variety of targets as well. That is the main part of data services. But why you see that very huge demand for the data services is it's an SAP product. So I mean, is this the only reason why the data services got huge demand? The reason is no. It is not only different, I mean, it's not only a reason that BODS is an SAP product, that's why you see a huge demand. Of course, apart from the capabilities, what it can extract the data, what it can load the data into a target system, apart from those capabilities, BODS got a variety of skills actually. What is that is, it can talk to SAP systems, non-SAP systems. It is tightly integrated with an SAP system actually. I mean, you don't have to do any plugins, you don't have to install anything, you don't have to write any codes in order to communicate with an SAP or in order to migrate the data from non-SAP databases to the HANA system. So all those things it will be done just like a plug and play, something like that. So that is all about the data services. And but SAP's, because it's being called as an SAP's product, that is also a very important point why we see huge demand in the market. So what is that actually? I mean, what is the marketing strategy of an SAP? So if you take an example, in 2000, mid of 2007, I remember that SAP has acquired business objects company. Data services, these business objects, these are all SAP, I mean, BO's product actually, business objects products. Once SAP has acquired business objects company in 2007, then this data services is being called as an SAP data services. Okay, and so what SAP is trying to do is, it is trying to market data services to its own client actually. That is a huge point that you have to understand. SAP, you know that, I mean, almost 70% of ERP market is captured by the SAP. So when ERP market is completely captured by the SAP, on the other hand, SAP has acquired data services. So what SAP is trying to do is, it is trying to market the data services its own client actually. So obviously SAP don't have to search for new clients. It has to convince the existing clients. So that is what actually happening here. That is the main reason why you see a huge demand for the data services. Okay. So hope you understand my point here. It is a very, very interesting point because of this reason actually you see a huge demand. That is one thing. So integrate heterogeneous systems. So let's come back to the data services part actually. What the data services will do. Data services will extract the data from variety of systems. I mean, what you have heard. I mean, it can extract the data from the BW, it can extract the data from the SAP ECC systems, SAP I mean, ERP systems, non-SAP ERP systems, and it will generate an ABAP code actually, and that ABAP code will run against the SAP system. So all those things are possible actually with the data services. And it will load the data into BW. It can load the data into SAP HANA. It can load the data into SAP ECC system. Whatnot, everything. And that is all about BODs. And in the BODs, actually, interestingly, we have two parts actually. One is called the data quality management, other one is called as a data integration. When I say data integration, it's a purely an ETL stuff. But it comes to the data quality management, actually, it will does like something like cleansing of your data. Cleansing of your data means if you have any duplicates, or if you have any so duplicate records as per the address. So please observe carefully the first source records, and what about the cleansed data, and what is the target records. In a source we have actually three records, 1, 2 and 3. We have cleansed and we have arrived to only 2 records. The main reason is the data quality management. Actually, I mean, we will see that once we start the course. I mean, what is that actually? What makes a difference? That is all about data quality management. So when we have this data quality management is ready, so now we will talk about the architecture. I mean, what are all the components of BODS and how this BODS architecture is maintained actually, logically. Okay, so these are all the different products. What we will get into the installation of a BODS, actually designer, administrator, and the job server. These are the main important components of an SAP BODS and how exactly they are connected with each other. That's what we will understand BODS architecture. Once we start the course, you will understand elaborately on the BODS technical architecture. So having this particular knowledge on technical architecture, I mean, so what is the technical architecture? So how they are, I mean, how the components are connected with each other. So we will see all those things. Once we have the technical architecture, now we will try to understand the physical architecture. Physical architecture means, as I mentioned previously, we need to have some designer, and we need to have some administrator, we need to have a job server. I mean, how they are scattered. I mean, how whether every component is installed on the same system, or components are scattered across the different physical systems. So those are all the different points actually we are going to work on. So data services, physical architecture, data services, logical architecture, and all that. Having this particular knowledge, now we will be jumping onto the slide called developing in the data services. So I mean, we know that, I mean, as a BODS consultant, we have to perform an extraction, transformation. So when we talk about an extraction, transformation, and loading, so we normally will test, I mean, development of your ETL. That's where actually we have to launch the designer. So this is a tool actually. Okay, this is a tool where 95% of your time as a BODS consultant, you are going to spend your time in the BODS development, where exactly you are going to create a project. Within the project, several jobs. It's like a process chain actually. Okay, within your BW. So workflow, data flow, and data flow is the lowest level of granular object, where you are going to develop your ETL. We have a source, something like this, and we have a target, and we have a transformation in between. So we have an extraction, we have a loading, in between transformation. This is an ETL actually. Okay, So this is very, very important component where 95% of your time as a BODS consultant in your career you're going to spend time on this. Okay. So this is what actually the BODS, a designer is all about. So having this particular knowledge, you will be jumping on to the next slide, where the slide will give you what are all the interfaces where BODS can talk to without having any coding actually. The databases, it's an applications, the files and transport, mainframes, etc. And similarly, we have something like data stores in order to communicate with other than file systems. So something like that, and we can create a file format in order to communicate with file systems. We have a single-use object, reusable object, all those different kinds of scenarios, and we have query transform. Lot more actually. This is the detailed. The 133 slides of PPT. We have only gone through 25 actually. So like that, we have a lot more things we have here. So this is all about slides. What are the topics that we really go through it very, very high level. And the course duration would be 25 to 30 hours and daily 1 hour. Saturday and Sunday, flexible. Normally we don't put any classes on Saturday and Sundays. If you guys are interested, I'm open to have classes. That is one thing. So that is all about server access will be provided to you guys for 2 months. That's all about I can tell you. And regarding the server, this is a server. Let me show you the server actually. What are all the server, where exactly the BODS is going to install, we will see all those things actually. So how yes.
What are the prerequisites that we need to learn when we do this?
Sorry?
Prerequisites. That means any language, particularly any language in design.
Yeah, we don't require any strict rights to learn BODS. But if you have a SQL basic knowledge, that should be. So like I will be explaining the things that should be fine. But in order to learn BODS, SQL is knowledge is bit of helpful actually. So if you see here, this is a server actually. This is a server, and this is the BODS 4.2 that is got installed here. So data services designer and data services trace management console. This management console is like a monitoring your jobs. It's like monitoring your process streams. So I just launched BODS designer actually. So this is how actually you're going to log in. So I'm just opening.
But why do you need to go for these data services? Because this is ETL, BW is also a type of ETL.
Very good. BW is a robust tool. BW is a robust tool when BODS BW will does an ETL. BW will does BW will be using as an ETL tool. BW will have a reporting tool. So like that, so you can do a storage of your data You can do reporting on your data. You can do an ETL of your data. So BODS, BW is a robust tool. It requires a lot of manpower, a lot of execution hours. It requires a lot of resources and a lot more things we require. You know that, right? In SAP BW, for monitoring the job itself, you will put one or two resources, right? That much of heavily loaded, robust tool. That is one thing. So BODS doesn't require that much of manpower, and it's very flexible actually. And you know that, if you want to implement any simple logic within BO, within BW actually, I'm talking about especially in extraction, transformation, loading terms. So you have to write some routines actually. We don't have any functions in build functions actually. For each and everything, you have to write an ABAP kind of routines in BW. So whereas the BODS will have hundreds of functions, hundreds of custom functions if you want to write it very easily. And BOD has got its own scripting language, but it's not a very typical scripting language. Okay, you don't have to learn anything. You can simply write, English like a language in order to have that scripts. That's very, the last stage of writing the scripts. Simply using the functions will become a script within the BODS. So that much of importance we got actually whenever we talk about an SAP BODS. Okay, so you don't have any concept of creating an info source or data source, loading into PSA, from PSA to some DS source or info cubes. You don't have any two-step layers actually as we have in SAP BW. Right, it's only a single actually. Just extract, load the data into target. We don't have to have any persistent staging area. We don't require actually. As per the requirement, we will put it for our understanding or for our manipulation of data is considered. But normally we don't do it. Okay. So hope I cleared.
BODS doesn't store any data.
Yes, absolutely correct. BODS doesn't store any data.
It works like an interface, that's it.
Yes, it works like an interface or facilitator where it will transfer the data from source to target. It will transfer the data and it manipulate the data as per the business.
I heard that on top of BODS, some BO reports also they will be performed. All the virtual reports are held.
No, actually, the thing is, on top of BODS means, you know that, right? With BODS, we'll be loading the data into a target. That can be into BW, I can load it. I can be into HANA, I can load it. Something like that. So on top of those BW, on top of those HANA systems, I will be creating the reports. That's it. But there is no concept of virtual reporting. So, but I didn't understand that virtual reporting. So
that means you told it doesn't store any data. That's why I heard that on top of BODS, they used to build some webby reports like that as well.
Right. Yeah, not on top of that BODS. BODS will load the data into some other interface. Right? BODS will load the data into BW. BODS will load the data into Oracle. BODS will load the data into HANA. You understand what I'm saying? Some other interface. So once you have that interfaces ready, then you will create a report on top of that. There is no concept of reporting on BODS. You understand what is my point? Yes. A lot of people, clients will tell you we will be reporting on BODS, but that's what the into a database or into an application. That application is data. Clear, Hari?
Venkat, I posted few questions if you can see.
Yeah, sure, definitely. Yeah, the course duration, as I mentioned, the same thing actually. 30 years, and I will navigate you through the course content here. So first of all, we will talk about BODS overview, BODS designer concepts, and after that we will try to create a badge of how to create that, and we will see different transformations. As we know that in an ETL tool, transforms will play a major role. Actually, they will play a major role. So without transformations, we cannot imagine a BODS and something like that. So that's the reason we will see the variety of transformations, and we will see one real-time scenario like slowly changing dimension. This is a very important for each and every consultant's career. You cannot imagine a single job without this slowly changing dimension. You might know it as a as a warehousing concept. So but we will see how to implement that technically. And we will see something like functions, scripts and variables. So data assessment, and we will see that. And so after that we will see like what is an error handling technique, what is an exception handling technique. We will see how to implement a while loop actually, recursively how to load it. And we will see something like conditional. If there is a file in a folder, then only you have to execute a job. Otherwise, we have to send an email or notification saying the file is not available. Such kind of requirements that we will see here. And we will see like source-based CDC and target-based CDC. And we will also try to understand like multi-user environment. When I say multi-user environment, how to migrate the code from dev to QA and QA to prod. And similarly, what is the difference between the local repository and the central repository, and how to share the code among the developers. So you know that in a project, BODS project, if you have 10 developers, so how to share the code among themselves, that we will try to understand. And also we will see like how to extract the data from SAP ECC system, how to extract the data from SAP BW system. Okay, so how to load the data into SAP HANA, and so that's where actually we will see like SAP BODS and HANA integration. So we will see something like an ABAP based ABAP data flows. ABAP data flows. We will talk about that. So all those things that will be mattered here as part of the course content. Any questions on this?
This tool is like informatica in a sense.
Sorry?
Usually you told it's like an informatica.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not comparing with an Informatica, but I'm just telling you that Informatica, BODS, data stage, everything comes under the same category. That's what I mean. So, yeah. But it has more features compared to Informatica. That is different story. But because Informatica is a bit popular, so I just thought of comparing, having idea. But BODS has very good
Venkat, regarding the integration with HANA, all these topics are like very relevant when we do projects migrating to HANA, or Are there any specific other topics which needs to be covered for HANA integration?
HANA integration, from the BODS standpoint, integration only important point. Okay, anything. If you're talking about an extraction, ECC extraction or BW extraction loading into HANA. Okay, so that the connection only matters. Once you are able to establish the connection, everything is same. Whether it is a BW or BODS, or it doesn't matter. For the BODS, it doesn't matter. The only extraction part is the same. But only the extraction, only the connection part is you have to establish. That's it. So once you are able to establish, everything is same. The way you load the data into file is same. The way you load the data into HANA is same.
So we'll cover a few like examples migrating data into HANA.
Yeah, migrating data into HANA. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. We will try to understand how to replicate the data from ECC to HANA. Let us take an example. If you have an ECC tables like VBAK, VBAP, MARA, MARC tables, we know, right? So how to replicate those data into an SAP HANA? Yeah, that we will see another problem.
Timing wise, what will be the timing?
Timing, at this point of time, I'm thinking of the same time as we discussed today. So, okay, 6:30 to 7:30 maybe. Or you guys are okay at, okay, maybe 9:30 would be very late for you actually, 9:30 a.m. IST.
No, actually that will work better for me.
Oh, okay, 9:30 a.m. IST. So you are in which time zone actually?
I'm in CST.
Oh, okay. What about Hari for you?
I'm in Bangalore. Bangalore.
Oh, you are in Bangalore. Okay. So is 9:30 a.m. fine?
No, usually I stand to office at 8:30.
Right?
By 8:30 a.m.
Oh, by 8:30 you have to start.
They know right how traffic will be.
Okay, that's fine then. So what we will do is, the organizer will contact you and we will try to have some common time.
Sure. And certification was what would be the first one if we have to, which would be applicable?
Certification wise, you have the DC10 is there, right? So that should be applicable. Yeah. Application associate, BODS.
Okay. Any like main version changes which are coming up for BODS in near future, or 4.2 is kind of stable at this point?
4.2 is kind of stable. I see this quite for some time actually. Okay. So yeah, it says from 4.0 to 4.1, from 4.1 to 4.2, the changes are very immediate. But I see that 4.2 is there for quite for some time. I don't see immediate change from 4.2 to 4.3, but there is obviously the HANA is continuously in growing stage, right? SAP is continuously in research R&D. So obviously down the line you will definitely get 4.3, but at this point of time, 4.2 is stable. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Mugat.
Yeah. Any questions, guys?
Nothing from my side. Thanks.
This course will be going to complete in 1 month.
Yes, this is completed in 1 month. Yes.
Quick question for Hari. Your weekends are you available, Hari?
Sometimes I'll be having weekends.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yes. The weekend purchase of
Uh, your voice is breaking. I cannot hear.
I want to know your intention for weekend, whether you want to know for weekend sessions or what.
I am available for weekend sessions.
It's possible I like it.
I mean, once you enroll it, so we'll come to a common time actually. I'm flexible on any time. So I mean, organizer will individually talk to you guys so that they can figure out a way. Yeah.
Like that, one more thing. How this tool, whether for installing VODS, if I'm installing normal laptop or how?
No, the problem. Okay. So I mean, I'm going to give you a server access. You have to log in via RDP remote desktop connection. How I have connected using in similar fashion, you have to connect. Yeah, there won't be any installation required on your desktop, and it's not a one client base to require all the server and client. That's the reason why it's not sufficient to have or install on your laptop, just like that. So we need to have a server. I will provide you a server so that you can.
One more doubt, sir.
Sorry.
One more question I have. This BODS in market is like from very long period we have this BODS, right? Why so much of requirement for BODS?
Sorry, I mean, if you don't mind, I didn't understand actually your question because your voice is
Yeah, this
clarity.
BODS, yeah, this BODS in market from I know this BODS from last 2012 again. Why so much demand for in current market for
Yeah,
BODS?
that's what I have mentioned in the starting of the session. It's purely because of an SAP. There's simple logic. As I mentioned previously, SAP market is 70% across the globe. SAP has acquired data services 2007 actually. So SAP having almost like 1 lakh customers across the globe. So what SAP is doing is it is growing its own client. It is trying to market the PODS. It is quite easy actually. I mean, convince the existing customers. But if you take in other companies like Oracle, other competitors actually, IBM, they have to search for a new clients in order to market their products. When SAP don't have to search anywhere. SAP has to search for its own client. It has to identify their interest and they have to convince. That's it. That is a big, that is a, market strategy, and that is that makes a difference between the BODS and the other ETL tools on the market. So it's only because of an SAP only. Yeah.
The recommended approach for HANA to migrate data from ECC is also BODS, right? Or no?
Absolutely. Yeah. But you have to understand, when you say like migrate, it's a very broad term. So what is meant by exactly migrate? You want to just simply copy the data, whatever the application data, what you have in ECC system into an SAP HANA. Then on top of that, you're going to build a data warehousing system. On top of that, you're going to create reports. Is that what you aim?
Even if we talk about migrating from ECC to S4 HANA, does BODS play a role in there, or?
Obviously, that's what I'm saying. Anywhere, if you take an example of migration, BODS plays a major role. Yeah. but you have to understand, I mean, what type of role it is. BODS has to play. BODS is more, I mean, it's a very popular for its batch job. I mean, batch job means load the data in a batches.
Yes, I'm good.
Yeah. So any questions next before we hang up the call for today?
No questions from my side. Thanks, Venkat.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get back to the organizer regarding the session and just let us know your confirmation as soon as possible. So we are expecting, I mean, 2 or 3 people, but you guys are okay. We will start from tomorrow itself. Okay. Later on, other people will join. That should be fine. But
Sure.
just let us know your confirmation as soon as possible. As organizer will reach out to you guys, so that we will plan our timings, we will plan our schedule, and we will let even I will explain my plan to the organizer so that he will consolidate all our plans and he will come to a common time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you.